So here we go. We have some websites that talk about this. And as I said, if you look at the description of these color codes, so the maroon color, it means that there is no evangelical Christians or churches, no access to major evangelical print, audio, visual, or human resources. And sometimes this is also portrayed in gray or black. That means we don't have any information about that region. When it is red, that means we have less than 2% evangelicals, some evangelical resources available, but not active church planting within past 2 years. The orange, that means less than 2% evangelical initial localized church planting within past 2 years. Yellow, less than 2% evangelical widespread church planting within past 2 years. Light green, greater than or equal to 2% evangelical. Green, greater than or equal to 5% evangelical. And then we have the dark green, which is greater than or equal to 10% evangelical. And from red to yellow, those are called unreached. Now, after we talked about the people groups, I would like to talk a little bit about the world map. And if we go back to the website over here, world map, you will see that over here showing the world map of the world. And this was actually made back in the 90s, I believe. It's very much like the people group. But if we go over here, it shows like the progress of evangelism in the world. And I remember when I was in the Southwestern Baptist Seminary, they used to make us be trained on that map. So I remember that they put that map on the projector and they divided us to groups, and each group has to come up with a plan on how to evangelize certain country or region. So for example, if I want to evangelize Egypt or Libya, for example, or Algeria, so I have to study the culture of that country and their language, and then try to come up with a plan and put some points on how to evangelize. And as you see over here, that that red color, it means that it's less than 1%, and there is unengaged people to Christian evangelism. That means there is no evangelism in here, as you see. The yellow, it means there is a little bit of evangelism. It's about less than 5%. And the green, as you see here in the West, like America and Europe and some certain places in Europe, it means that, like, and you see over here, which is the Bible Belt, and green, it means that they are over 10% of that area, that they are already Christians, as you see. Okay, and so this is the map, world map, and you will see this world map almost in every single theological seminary. You can see them in some of the houses of places in within like the Christians' homes and so on. And you see the three little maps over here, and I will be explaining about each one separately. Of course, you see the Arabic language over here. I actually translated those over here, but it's originally in English. So the first one is actually the one on the right side, the one over here on the right side. It talks about the Bible translation status. And you see that the red color, it means that the Bible needs to be translated, that we don't have any resources of the Bible. That means that means the people did not, like the evangelicals, did not reach to them yet. The yellow, it means that we have some pieces and some prints of the Christian message, but not all the Bible, not all the verses of the Bible. The orange, it means the New Testament has been translated without the Old Testament. And the green, it means that all the Bible was translated, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So most of these countries in green, That means the missionaries have reached to them, and they have, of course, they have translate the whole Bible. For historical response to the gospel message, this one is actually the opposite. So we see that the red color, people are highly responding to the message of the salvation. So you see a lot of response down here in Africa. So you see a lot of African people responding to the message and converting to Christianity, some in China and some also in South America. The yellow, it means medium, that sometimes they respond, sometimes not. So you see that in India right here. And orange, it means that it's weak, slight response. And that's actually in South Canada. And green, it means that people are not responding to Christian, and there's almost no Christian evangelism in that. And even if there are some evangelism, but the response to these people are very low. And you see that actually in Western Europe, because they are agnostics and atheists. You will see that even in America, because they are so individualized, and even in some of the countries of the Islamic countries, because Muslims are known to be the most resistant to the Christian evangelism. Subhanallah. The last one, which is the map on the left, talks about the Jesus film translation status. And it's the movie that it was produced in 1979. If you actually watch that movie, it's a long movie, about 3 hours, according to the Gospel of Luke, talking about Jesus' life and biography. And most of these countries in green, movie has been translated and dublaged, also dublaged. Is that a word for it? Dublaged, that means that the people actually speak that language. And I will show you some of the examples for that. Red, that means it's still, the movie has to be translated, and that's why they need more missionaries to study the languages of the tribes in Africa and in some of the coastal areas over here, where they actually can study the language and translate Jesus film to their language.
بيعوا اللي عندكم واحسنوا بيه على الفقراء. اعملوا لنفسكم اكياس ما تدوبش وخلوا كنوزكم في السماء وعمرها ما هتنقص. هناك مفيش حد يسرق ولا حاجة ممكن تفسد. المكان اللي فيه كنزك فيه قلبك. روحي، انت حرة من مرضك.
بصوا خفت، معجزة، خفت، تعالوا بصوا. الحمد ليك يا رب.
This is the world map, and after we talked about the world map, right now I will move to what it's called window 1040. But before I do that, let's stop right here. جزاكم الله خير. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Peace be upon you.